Previously, I thought that Anita Sarkeesian was just incredibly dishonest. But as it turns out, I now know that damn was I giving her the benefit of the doubt. Her level of dishonesty beggars belief. It really does just beggar belief on the scale of creating her own fabricated sexist comments such that she can claim that she's persecuted. That's the level of dishonesty that we're talking about. And then to try and pass this off as a well-researched piece of media.
This is an incredibly ambitious project because of the scope and scale of the research and production involved.
So what's the evidence for this, I hear you ask? Well, that's as black and white as it comes, but we'll come to that in a moment. The sad thing here is just how many people she's duped. She was given an ambassador's award at a game developers convention, and then I found this on YouTube.
I love video games so much that I had to quit them because they were taking over my life. But Anita Sarkeesian's new video illustrates some shocking trends that need to be addressed. Just a heads up, the gameplay footage in this video is not safe for work, which is part of the problem.
Yes, she's been featured on YouTube Nation, who were only too happy to justify why she blocks comments and ratings.
As unsettling as all of this is, the thing that disturbs me the most is the kind of personal backlash that Anita and her channel have faced. She's had to turn off her comments and hide her like-dislike ratio. This is not okay. Please watch this video and share.
However, if you go to places where you can discuss her videos, which is basically anywhere where she can't delete your comments, you'll find example after example of how she's just cherry-picked and completely misrepresented games. Two very clear examples is where she used the game Watch Dogs on the very mission where you have to try and shut down a sex trafficking ring. Well, how can you possibly portray that as objectifying women? Well, she found a way.
And almost never get to be anything other than set dressing or props in someone else's narrative. This is the essence of what sexual objectification means. And since that concept is at the heart of the women as background decoration trope, let's take a moment to define it.
That is, she takes a mission where you're trying to shut down a sex trafficking ring and portrays that as sexist. Another game that came up a lot was Hitman. This is how she describes Hitman Absolute.
Players are meant to derive a perverse pleasure from desecrating the bodies of unsuspecting virtual female characters. It's a rush streaming from a carefully concocted mix of sexual arousal connected to the act of controlling and punishing representations of female sexuality.
So deeply skeptical because you're meant to be a hitman, you're not going around killing random people. Indeed, you're penalized for killing people who are not your target, and even more so for killing innocent civilians. That is, the game actively disincentivizes killing random people like the girls in the strip club. So I watched a playthrough of the missions, of which there were plenty. I watched about 40 or so of these people playing the mission. Turns out there are two ways of doing it, and only one of those takes you past the girls doing their makeup, and one doesn't. So about 3/4 went the easier route, and about 1/4 went past the dancers. Most of them sneaked past the dancers like you're meant to do, and none of them actually attacked or killed the dancers, because you would get penalized for it.
I just can't take much more, Dom. I don't know what to do.
Look, you're new here. Dom is the price of this business. Be smart. Every club has one like him. A Dom.
He wanted me to do a show in the back room. I just can't take much more, Dom. I don't know what to do.
Look, you're new.
He's not here, man. He's gone.
Now, we're going to walk past these two women doing their makeup. One of them eventually walks toward the area that we're going to go, so we have to watch out for her.
There are cops everywhere, and you know what? He doesn't give a flying fuck.
That's why he counts all the cops. They are not about to fuck with him when he gives them free titties every night.
I think it's sick. I mean, we're just working.
Look,
we've all heard the stories, right?
Smart. What's going on?
Hey, man. Get
Players are then invited to explore and exploit those situations during their playthrough. The player cannot help but treat these female bodies as things to be acted upon, because they were designed, constructed, and placed in the environment for that singular purpose. Players are meant to derive a perverse pleasure from desecrating the bodies of unsuspecting virtual female characters.
So in summary, this is how Anita Sarkeesian's video deconstructs the representation of women in popular media. She takes a game where you are actively discouraged from killing innocent civilians. Then, because one mission out of 20 involves a strip club, of which only about 2 parts out of 7 are actually in the strip club, and of that only a few % involves the erotic dancers, almost every second of which was used in her video. Then, because no one who actually plays the game kills the dancers, because you get penalized for doing it, she then presumably goes and kills the dancers herself and drags their bodies around so she can claim this.
The player cannot help but treat these female bodies as things to be acted upon, because they were designed, constructed, and placed in the environment for that singular purpose. Players are meant to derive a perverse pleasure from desecrating the bodies of unsuspecting virtual female characters.
Now, we're going to walk past these 2 women doing their makeup. One of them eventually walks toward the area that we're going to go, so we have to watch out for her.
It's a rush streaming from a carefully concocted mix of sexual arousal connected to the act of controlling and punishing representations of female sexuality.
Jesus Christ, woman, you are a liar without shame. It's like complaining that bricks are designed to cause vandalism in a crime-free town where vandalism is actively discouraged, and then going and smashing your own car window with a brick just to show how much bricks cause vandalism and how much this town has a big problem with vandalism. Claiming, as Anita does, that just because you can, that you are actually invited and encouraged to do it.
The game makers have set up a series of possible scenarios involving vulnerable, eroticized female characters. Players are then invited to explore and exploit those situations during their playthrough.
Is literally as stupid as saying games where you can fall to your death. You're actually being invited and encouraged to fall to your death. And that this will make people want to do it in real life.
Paradoxically, and somewhat ironically, those who most strongly believe that media is just harmless entertainment are also the ones most likely to uncritically internalize harmful media messages. In short, the more you think you cannot be affected, the more likely you are to be affected.
This is not just slightly dishonest. This is pissing on them and telling them it's raining dishonest. And the Game Developer Awards and YouTube Nation just lap it up.
The thing that disturbs me the most is the kind of personal backlash that Anita and her channel have faced. She's had to turn off her comments and hide her like-dislike ratio. This is not okay. Please watch this video and share.
No, Anna. The reason that she disables comments is because if she doesn't, people will simply point them to videos like this one, where it is outrageously black and white clear just how dishonest she has been. And just in case there is any lingering doubt here, I should add to the presenter, Anna Akana, just so we are clear how dishonest Anita Sarkeesian is being. It would be like adding this pop culture deconstruction to your video. The message that Anna is normalizing and encouraging here is that threatening deadly firearm violence against women is not only permissible, but should be actively sought after. If this is meant to be humor or not, does not change the fact that just for being herself, this woman is being threatened with death by a firearm. A clearly misogynistic message. Anna stresses this point by emphasizing the level of overkill that the protagonist should adopt. Yeah, that would be about as fair a representation of your video as Anita Sarkeesian's video was a fair representation of Hitman. Cherry-picking a tiny fraction of the video and manipulating and misrepresenting it out of all proportion. Yeah, this is why she has to disable comments to shield her viewers, such as yourself, from learning the truth about just how dishonest she is. You were taken in hook, line, and sinker, along with many others, into believing something that is simply bullshit.
This is not okay. Please watch this video and share.